Illegal notices to Netidatri with the possession and entanglement problems. Some officials are depriving the health department. They never care about the orders issued by the government. Now they indifferent towards the deputation cancellation orders. In the name of caste, they have been fixed to their chairs. They are expressing anger against media, writing which is against them. Medical officer behavior is like a guilty conscience needs no accuser. Netidatri said only one official, but the chief officers responded with a shudder. She continued by hating the deputation. Does she have MLA support behind her? The director of health said that he had no time for enquiry. He wants some more time for enquiry. If a government official wants to send a legal notice to the media, it requires permission from his higher official. Does the director of health give such permission? The government will only get disgraced with such officers. Health ministry only has to face criticisms. Minister Ponguleti is eliminating such corrupt officials in the registration department. Don't be indifferent towards corrupt medical officers. Why deputation not cancelled only for Shirisha? Who is behind her? Who is responsible for getting a bad name for the medical department in such busy is the director of health to take action against corrupt officials? At least why he is not showing any interest in inquiring about this issue? Revamping is urgently needed in the health department. First of all, transfer those officers who have been settled in one place for years together. Concentrate on those who are doing their own business, neglecting their duties. Look how those are running private clinics and exploiting the masses. Recover the government funds swallowed by corrupt officials. How far it is called genuine to give legal notice to Netidatri that advised to stop corrupt practices. Why government is giving such importance to corrupt officials is the medical and health departments. Legality applies to everybody and there is no need for partially to show especially on government officials. Those who indulge corrupt practices which face punishment in any form. Influence gives protection to some extent, but when the issues reach the threshold of the court, all the facts relating to corruption will come out without any hesitation. Here, Netidatri wrote a story that is not fabricated. It exposed the real face of corruption taking place in the health department. When one official is unable to accept such a story, he or she might not indulge in corrupt practices or commit any mistakes. Another important thing is here to note is that Netidatri did not mention the name of any such official. It only said one official in the district but did not mention chief medical officer. No official in the district responded to this news except Dr. Shirisha. She might have decided herself that this story is written mainly targeting her. This is nothing but a guilty conscience needed no accuser and sent a legal notice to Netidatri. With this act, it became that she admitted that she indulged in corrupt practices with the understanding that only the officer mentioned in that story. Then what is the need to send a legal notice? The media and newspaper are only here to expose the corruption that prevails in society. The media never stands silent on corruption and immediately enters into the field to expose such fraudulent activities after having learned about them. That will make them stand before society. Highly educated personalities know it well. Why other medical officers in the district had not responded to this story except Dr. Shirisha? Why are allegations coming only against her? Does what she calls self-respect not come to her remembrance while indulging in corrupt practice? Is corruption held or not is the important question here. We continue our corrupt practices and will send a legal notice to media that exposes such fraudulent activities. Is becoming an attitude of corrupt officials simply by sending legal notice? Could it wrong become right? Injustice causes gets eliminated. If any officials feel such news is false, they can have the freedom to condemn it in strongly through the media itself. Are government officials not answerable to anybody? There is no meaning sitting idle and showing indifference towards their activities. Self-respect only confined to Dr. Sirisha. When she abused her subordinates in the name of their caste, why she didn't call back to her mind about this self-respect? Why she couldn't be attentive to treating her subordinate employees as human beings? Is it not the fact that the funds allocated for whitewashing the hospital in the district were misused? If not misused, then tell the facts about such expenditure made. This is the primary responsibility of Dr. Shirisha as the chief medical officer of the district. Why she is not saying that the central government funds are not misused? While all deputations in the medical department were cancelled in the state, why did she only remain in her place? Are government rules not applicable to her? Is the government giving a special GO in favor of her? Even after the government has changed when doing duties against the rules, the media never kept silent without raising this question. Then how can you link to your self-respect those who are in public life and taking salaries from the taxes paid by the people must remain answerable? Here Dr. Sirisha must give answer to some questions. First of all, she has forgotten her responsibility to give an explanation to the story published in Neti Datri. Just by filling the defamation petition, the truth never becomes false and the corruption never gets legality. The story filled is nothing but its duty. There is no place for personal rivalry and caste, religion, gender, and language discrimination. Any government officials indulging corrupt practices is illegal. While diverting the funds, are you unaware of this fact? Is it not illegal to allocate the contract ignoring the rules? Now people have no goodwill on government officials with the illegal act of some employees. All those who are working in this system have been facing antagonism. Exposing such fraudulent activities is the primary responsibility of the media. Recently, Election Commission took action against some employees who conducted some meetings. Neti Datri supported them and played a key role in restraining them in their positions. Here, Neti Datri exposed the fault in the decision of the Election Commission. That is the news value of Neti Datri. Those who indulge in corrupt practices continue their fallacious arguments. Those who show their finger to the media exposing their faults must remember that three fingers are showing towards them. Previously, one sub-registrar indulged in fraudulent activities, pretending herself as a social worker. She continued her corrupt practices in an unstrained manner. Then Neti Datri had been published stories continuously exposing her corruption behind the name of a social worker. In response to those stories, she sent a legal notice in the name of self-respect. Finally, she was caught red-handed by ACB and now all her accumulated properties in a fraudulent manner are coming out. Now the victims of her coming out and exposing her real face. For that, Neti Datri wrote several stories against sub-registrars and those involved in corrupt practices. That is the sincerity of Neti Datri. For 2 decades, Neti Datri faced several such corrupt people. Now the small employees who have been facing difficulties with this district medical officer told her plights to Neti Datri. They detailed the injustice caused to them and how their lives fell into jeopardous situations. The tribal employees also detailed how they were being mistreated by her. Neti Datri exposed only those things told by them. Hatted by these stories, which exposed her real face, she sent legal notice to Neti Datri. Just by sending legal notices, the corruption activities never go behind the screen. At the same time, any government official requires permission from his superior before issuing a legal notice to the media. It also requires revealing from whom such officer she got permission to issue this legal notice. Respected minister, look at those officials who are spoiling the reputation of the department. Some officials who came on deputation have been sitting in their seats for years together and are unwilling to go to their original places. Present Revanth Reddy government cancelled those deputations. Why these cancellation orders do not apply to the Bhadradri Kottagudem medical officers remains a big question. Until now, that officer continued in her place with the support of elders from her caste when this issue was taken to the notice of the Director of Health. He just escaped by saying no time for him to conduct the inquiry. It is an astonishing fact that how are the government officials sitting in the one place against the rules. Giving excess freedom to government employees is not good for the system. There were several incidents in which government fell victim to the acts of corrupt officials. Only those officials who work in disciplined manner can be able to earn a good reputation for the government. People also express their confidence in such officials. The previous BRS government brought the Dharani scheme. Even the intention of the government is good. The attitude of revenue and registration officials caused problems for the people. This created a negative impact indirectly of the government that caused the defeat of the government in previous elections. With this experience, the present government must conduct review meetings from time to time to analyze the prevailing situations. Now, Minister Ponguleti Srinivas Reddy has been taking extreme action against corrupt officials in the registration office and cleaning the entire department. Now, Health Minister Damodara Rajanasimha shall take steps to revamp the department. He must concentrate on those corrupt officials by taking account of news coming in the media against them. There are some allegations that such corrupt officials are doing some favor to concerned ministers to retain them in their current places where they have been continuing. Such officials have the feeling that they have been something special in this background. The government needs to concentrate on the Bhadradri Kottagudem Medical Department.